Well, now we're in module, lesson, or chapter 4, whatever word you want. Um, the title of this module is the Inside Dope, and the song that accompanies this chapter is "The Gentleman is a Dope" from Rodgers and Hammerstein's Allegro, and I chose this for a couple of reasons. One, Allegro was an original musical. It was not an adaptation. And part of the problem with Allegro, in my opinion, is that the first act spends its entirety setting up a situation that will prepare a man for life in a changing world that happens in the second act. And the first act, therefore, is mostly a chronicle. And I think it is this lack of cause and effect between relationships, or I shouldn't have said relationships, the lack of cause and effect between the actions in the first act are what failed to engage an audience. The show, when it opened, it got very mixed reviews. Some of the critics were raving about it, others were dismissing it out of hand. And I think it's because of this chronicle in the first act. Because the second act is very interesting, and it is about a young man who has to come to grips with a changing world. A world in which, if your marriage isn't working, you don't have to stick it out. You can get a divorce and start over again, or make an effort to start over again. And in the world this young man came from, that was not really heard of. Excuse me. So Oscar Hammerstein had an agenda, and he had an idea, and he wrote the book and lyrics, and the idea was clear for the audience. Some critics liked it better than others. The show ran about 6 months, and has never been revived on Broadway. And although some of the score has been used by singers over the years, the show itself is seldom seen. This text is about relating everything on the stage to the central idea or theme of the play. And in this case, the theme was coping with a changing world. How does an ordinary man cope with a changing world? It's a universal theme, and it would certainly apply to a character today. I mean, if you were to write Allegro today, some of the things that are changing would be smartphones and social media, etc. Some of those things that put great pressure on some lives today. So in this assignment, I've asked you to write 2 scenes. Both scenes take place in the same location, in an office, with the same set of characters, the boss and an employee. And in one scene, the employee is getting good news, a promotion and a raise. And in the other scene, the promotion is getting bad news, downsizing and loss of a job. Both scenes will end with a monologue, and both monologues will be on the same topic. And the topic of the monologue will be a commonplace object that your character, the employee, might find in an office. Could be a stapler, could be a paper clip, for that matter. But in one scene, the monologue is evaluating that article through the eyes of a tremendous joy and excitement. I'm getting a promotion, I'm getting a raise, things are wonderful. And in the other scene, the monologue on the same article, the same common everyday office article, is seen through the eyes of loss. Oh, they're downsizing me. I didn't make the cut. I've lost my job. What am I going to tell my family? This is a very typical way a book writer might write a scene, ending with a monologue, because it may be your intention that that monologue is going to become a song. It may not be your intention. Nonetheless, it fills in your collaborators as to how the character is responding to this news. So I want you to think very, very seriously about not the whole play, just this scene. One scene is about good news and one scene is about bad news. So I want everything in the scene to contribute to that central idea. This is a good news scene, this is a bad news scene. So that's the job. That's what I'm asking you to do. I look forward to reading your scenes, and I hope you have fun with the assignment. I hope you had as much fun doing it as I had thinking about it. So see you in the next chapter.